Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we keep working our way through the upgrade characters. Today we're going to start sort of the second half of the mini-series, and that's actually taking a look at the advisors and hostages, which function a little bit differently than the fighting men. But basically, the advisors and hostages have to go in the command unit, and you only get one in your force. And a little different here too, so if they're the last model in the unit, they basically just drop prone. They can essentially be captured by the opposing team, and then this has some effect on strike points and stuff like that as well. But where we wanted to start today is actually with the most expensive one, and also the first one, a captured merchant. Now, why would we want to invest 10 points in this? So let's take a look. Raiding forces, especially those of a piratical or privateering nature, would often take important townspeople as hostages. These hostages were often important bargaining tools and very valuable to both sides. So for 10 points, it's a pretty chunky investment for just an upgrade character, especially if they're not going to contribute to your fighting. So really we have to get something out of this. Now the neat thing is it's available to anybody, right? Anybody can take a hostage, so it doesn't have to be faction specific. It does have a special rule, high standing, which is often a downer, and especially if it's going in your commander's unit. So basically, for various reasons, character with high standing, and then consequently the unit would have basically the unit would lose elusive, quick, scout, skirmisher, or hidden as long as that character is there. So again, there are some downsides to that, but his extra abilities here are actually pretty interesting. So you get all forces want to keep this model from becoming a casualty and capture it if possible. So to reflect this, units making a ranged attack against the unit that contain this model have a +1 penalty to the attack. So you're buying yourself a little bit of an insurance policy, really, when that's what the hostage would be. Now that +1 penalty in the right situations is going to make your unit pretty hard to be shot at, and on the other hand, too, you can still continue to dish out long-range punishment at will. Now, it's not going to save you if somebody comes and charges you, right? That being said, shots do tend to still get through. However, if this character is lost and captured by the enemy as described above, which we saw briefly in the description there, the force that lost him gains a temporary strike point. Now, if you later recover that character, that temporary strike point goes away. But the downside is, of course, again, as it mentions, we got to put him in the commander's unit, and if we've lost the commander's unit, things are probably going pretty horrible to begin with. So there is a certain risk and reward with these characters, but you are basically getting an extra bullet shield, essentially. So if you have a unit, though, that excels at shooting, and you find that perfect sweet spot for range, and then any other special abilities that your commander might have that make you even better at shooting, but then you also kind of get this penalty that the opponent has to deal with if they're trying to shoot you, and maybe you can even occupy some soft cover, all the better. You can really have we're not going to say quite an invulnerable unit, but a unit that's just going to be hard to dislodge, and especially if you also have characters, which so many of the special characters do, with ways to mitigate fatigue and everything. It can be a pretty nasty combination, but it is an expensive proposition. So let us know in the comments, guys, if you have featured the captured merchant. Which force did you feel that in, or where do you feel like he works best and pays for himself? What point level would you consider adding the captured merchant? Let us know in the comments, or if you've come up against someone using them and how that went, or for that opponent, whether it went well or bad. Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll have more Blood and Plunder for you soon.